Welcome to the Free Idea Podcast. Ooh, I'm back. It's been a while. It's really been a while, and I've learned a lot. I'm now a teacher, and oh boy, is that a horrendous job. Horrendous. And I've quit a lot of podcasts, the Joe Rogan, sometimes in a while, when some guest is worth it. Watch it. I quit some other podcasts and YouTubes, and I deleted apps that take my time. And I've learned something. What I've learned is that I don't need to be on top of the news. Knowing what's going on in the world has not helped me one bit. I thought it did by making me able to predict the stock market, but it honestly doesn't make any sense. I thought it did by helping me predict the future for my safety and where to invest my money, but it's pretty random. Same with the COVID and the recession and all these things. And the lies, oh boy, the lies of the news. That America is booming and it's doing great, but every year things get twice as expensive. It's the beginning of the end, or that's how it feels. And it could also just change at the snap of a finger. And we could be back on top. So I've learned a lot, a whole lot. Almost like in a cynical level of a whole lot. Let me tell you about teaching. Boy, don't go into teaching. I don't know. I'm there because that's what I have. The kids, some of them love me, some of them don't. It is what it is. Can't keep everyone happy. Just like your favorite TikToker or YouTuber, they tell you don't read the comments because you see a lot of nice ones, but then you see one single negative and you're like, bah. Yeah, it's the same with teaching, but it's real people. You get lots of love, and once in a while you get one that is the opposite. Now, I like having fun with them, joking. I did that thing where they weren't paying attention, so I took out a video from Subway Surfer catching coins and put it on the TV, and everybody started paying attention, and I just started giving instructions for the assignment, and it was funny how that worked. It was so funny. So teaching has its moments, but oh boy, is the education system downhill, going down. Since I was a student, and now that I'm a teacher, it has not improved. Teachers are given more and more and more requirements, more and more work, more and more technology to deal with, and more behaviors and more. Oh boy, like I don't think there's a more stressful job than teaching. But you could argue there's got to be something. But I feel like at least 80% of the jobs out there are easier than teaching. The other 20 you don't want to be in. It's kind of like a thing you don't choose. It just happens to you. Yikes. Yikes. Like every job out there that exists, it's just a variation of teaching. Like lesser. You think about teaching adults? Oh boy. You deal with some behavior, yeah. But try to teach middle schoolers. Try to teach people that don't want to be taught. Just that. People that don't want to be there. They don't want to learn. And your job is to make them learn. Who came up with this idea? Who was the genius that said, I just want to get a bunch of people that don't want to be in that place, and then I want to do the thing that they don't want to do. I think some kind of psychopath dictator had this dream. This is the person who created education. This is the person. It says, I want a group of 30 people that don't want to be here. Put them in a room that they don't want. And then, what's the thing that they don't want to do? Work. Yeah, I'm going to make them work. I'm such a genius. And then, I'm going to make them want to pass the class and the test. Even though from the beginning they did not want to be here or learn anything. Somehow I'm going to magically make them want to pass the culmination of all of their studies, a test. Oh boy. Why? I just feel like teaching is going to die. It's going downhill, hardcore. At least here in the US. When I was teaching in China, the respect for teachers was amazing. Incredible. The fault laid in the student and not the teacher. And America is the opposite. And teachers are so overburdened with work and grading and a bunch of other random things. Like, I have to stop myself from working too much. This career where burning out is so easy. You can work as much as you can fit in. Work will never end. The one who will end is you. Yep, but it is what it is. Teaching. I don't even know if I'm gonna be there next year. I'm hoping not. I gotta have a different job lined up. Yeah, it's just too much work. Too much work. The behavior of some students is oof. There's a great deal of good ones that make it nice to come to work. But there's a small amount, or sometimes it's half of the class, that are just rough. And those don't want to make me come back. And then there's all the requirements that we gotta do. All the trainings on our days off. While everybody enjoys the day off, not us. And then students say things like, well, you have it so easy. Teachers don't do anything. Of course. Oh, you have 2 free periods. Of course. No. We don't have any free time. Even when it's classified as free time, some random meeting is gonna happen for some random training. Now, who knows if it's gonna be helpful, honestly. It's like 50-50 or sometimes worse. Ugh. It's just... This job makes me see the simplicity of other jobs, like the physical ones. The ones where you work outside in the weather, and once you're done, and the weekends are yours, and any hour after you get home is yours. But teaching is not. Every hour teaching, every hour after you get home, you can still continue working on your teaching. It never changes. I'm so envious of those simple jobs. I've even daydream of just going to HEB and work there as a cashier. And that's it. I don't even dream of being a manager anymore. I don't even dream of a leadership position. You know how much that was sold to us, and it's still being sold. Be a leader, have a team, do teamwork and leader training and whatever other thing for efficiency is what I studied. A master's in that, making a company efficient. And now that I'm a teacher, boy, I have all that. I'm a manager. Manage an entire class 5 times. I'm a drill sergeant. I become strict and no ifs or buts. Just get to the deal. I become a negotiator. I negotiate with the kids. I become a politician. My dwell into drama and be careful with my words and convince and persuade. I am a dictator. Things are done the way I need them to be done, and if not, consequences will be given. I'm a writer, just constantly, or I'd say content creator, just making lesson plans, making some boring thing into a fun way to learn. Yep, a comedian, a psychologist, a therapist. Oh, it's too much. It's too much. Why would anybody want to be a teacher? I don't know. Why? Why? I have this thought that nobody really chooses to be a teacher. It just happens. Just happens. You just dealing with your normal life and it just happens. You just become one. And then when we all come in thinking that we're gonna do our best and be the best teacher that we never had and the most fun, and then reality hits us so hard. I came in there, I said, I'm gonna let them do the things the teachers never let us do. We're gonna play games, we're gonna eat in class, we're gonna have fun, we're gonna talk while doing the work. No, how wrong was I? No, there's a reason why rules became rules. I have a huge respect for rules now. There's a reason why they're there. Even if they seem random and dumb, there's a reason. Like not eating in class. Why? I always thought, well, because ants and roaches and rats. And I thought, okay, yeah, that's something. But is that it? No. When you let them eat in class, they spill the sodas on the floor. And then it takes 20 minutes away from the class. 30. In which somebody has to come in, clean it, and then the kids talk about it. Then it kind of ruins the motion as we were following assignment after assignment. It just interrupts everything. And then they just throw bags of chips on the floor, and it's crunchy everywhere. Then they're just busy eating instead of doing. Yeah, that's why we don't eat in the class. How about have fun while working? Nope, they're just gonna have fun. They're not gonna do the work. It's just too fun to do the fun part and not the work part. So yeah, I cannot be the teacher I want to be, because these kids are kids and they behave like kids. And you give them freedom and they'll go crazy. They'll fight. They'll throw stuff. They'll hurt each other. They'll bully each other. Can't be a nice teacher. Now with some classes, yes, it's all in the personalities that you have and if they get along. And the size. So yeah, some classes you can have all that fun and be that teacher that you wanted. But most classes, no. You gotta be the classic stereotype. Angry and serious and just throwing punishments left and right. And then they ask, why are you so strict? And you say, because this and that and you. Oh boy. Boy. And then they ask me if I'm gonna be there next year. And it sounds like a compliment, but I think no way. No. If I'm here next year, something bad happened. My dreams did not come true. That's what. Uh, I just dream of working less. And being a teacher is the opposite of that dream. I just work forever. And I have to stop myself from working forever. Just throwing my thoughts out there. Now, what's the other thing with the news? Changing topic. Ever since I stopped listening to the news, my life has been better, a lot better. Uh, Um, I always get back on them because they're very entertaining. That's what they are. It's just like a reality show for adults. Like how I used to make fun of reality shows for women. Well, the news is for men. Then when there's a war here and a politician there and some issue in that city and in that country and over there, it might affect me, but it might not. Most likely it won't. And I realize it's like gossip for men. Have you noticed? Women don't tend to care about the news as much as men do. Uh, I don't know what it is, but maybe it does make sense. There's more important things in life than the news. And I think women got it pretty nailed down since they're the ones who get family and children. All of a sudden, things become more important. But, so let me go back a few steps. Now that I have this stressful job, super stressful, it leaves me no time for hobbies or games or even news. And news was one of those hobbies. So now I'm forced to not watch anything. And that's when I realized, hey, it's not so bad. And it's easy to live in my own small bubble of work, traffic, and sleep. And it looks like the world is not ending. Even if we have wars and the fear of nuclear war and the fear of technology becoming stronger and more dictatorship style, even then, with a stressful job, I have no time to care. So that is something I can be thankful for being a teacher. I have no time to care for the world. I have a tiny ass world to care, and that's my classroom. With 5 or 6 or 8 classes full of children going through puberty, defying authority, having no sense of, how would I say it? Rules. There's a lot of stuff going on. A lot. And so, yeah, it is what it is. I'm thankful that I don't have to worry about the world out there. Right now, I was hearing about China visiting the US and the US fixing the homeless problem for like a minute, just for the Chinese leader to be like in awe of the city being clean. And I'm thinking, yeah, sure. That's what China does when politicians visit. So does America. It's a common move, but also doesn't affect my life. And I see all of my favorite YouTubers or the ones that I used to listen to a lot and podcasters talk about it. And they could go hours talking about this 5-minute clip. Man, they sound like they're doing something by talking about it, but nothing really gets done. At the end of the day, they're just talking, not doing. My life has not improved or gotten worse. I like what one of this guy said. He said, I'll care about politics. The day I care about politics is when the government tells me to stay home and scratch my balls. If they say they're gonna pay me for staying home and scratching my balls, that's the day I will listen to them. That's pretty good. That is so true. I don't think there's much to care about in the news. Not at all. Mm-mm. I don't even know what the news are for. Because like things just happen. Things just happen. So you don't need the news. You just hear things happening. I think the only time it would matter is if something in your life is happening and the news help you to put it out there in the world to get the help that you need. You know, like when somebody's house burns down and then everybody spreads it on the news and that catches the attention of some millionaires or people with money, and then they donate to the person whose house got burned, and then their life becomes better. I think that's when the news matter. Other than that, no. It's just fear selling you drama. Useless. So yeah, I stay away from that. Although it's entertaining, very much. And what's going on with the prices? Everything's going up. Cars, houses. It used to be a joke that we're not gonna be able to afford homes ever again or own them, but now it's a reality. Unfortunately, something we did not expect is happening. That same joke, but for cars. One day, we will not be able to own cars or afford them. We'll have to rent them. They're getting so expensive. Way too much for some reason. Who knows what or why. I used to listen to this comedian that made fun of God and church because he said he's all powerful, but somehow he needs your money. He can do anything. He can create anything and everything. But somehow, whenever you go to church, he asks you for money. Why can't he make it himself? And a lot of this news are similar. The global warming and stuff. Somehow we're all gonna die. And in order to solve it, we need your money. Which is why we're gonna tax you more and increase prices. This is gonna fix it. It's like the same thinking. And I was thinking about the cars too, with the COVID, and then there's just this news going around the chips and what do they call it? Something structure, disruption, all these keywords that they throw around, and because of these keywords, your cars are gonna become more expensive, and everything else too. Peculiar. Which is why a lot of people have thought about the greedflation. That is actually not inflation happening, it's just greed from companies that get together and they charge you more because they can, with the excuse that the economy is going to hurt them. That's an interesting theory or conspiracy. And with the masks as well, that they don't work, but then people still use them. Oof. I see how powerful the news are. I remember when in China, the news were so powerful that whenever some Chinese would see me walking, they would pull up their masks because they thought foreigners brought COVID, even though COVID came from them. And now I see, and I thought, wow, these people are brainwashed. Their news are so strong. Their rule over the marketing is so strong that they can make people believe this dumb stuff. And then I'm here in America, and I see people just believing dumb stuff as well. It turns out it's not China. It's not the dictatorship either. It's just people. Both. Both news are strong. And then we both get lied. And then we don't know who to believe. If you watch a lot of news and podcasts, this is a common idea now. That we don't know who to believe. And so we just believe people we like. But even then, those people we like could be getting the information wrong. And it doesn't matter because we like them. And we're back to square one as to how politics started. Because we like certain people and we gave them power. Going back to being a teacher. So I have all that power. A lot. Incredible amount. At the same time, not that much. I cannot kick a student out of my class. I mean, I can, but he'll be back the next day. So much for that power. But I can lie. And they'll believe it. And I can also not lie, tell the truth. And they won't believe me. So, interesting. I'm not gonna reveal those secrets in case a student is listening. I'm gonna keep some secrets to myself. Just like they say, a real magician does not reveal its secrets. This is why that rule was made. But now people are breaking that rule. On TikTok, they're showing how these magic tricks happen. And that ruins it. Because everybody wants to be smart about it. But the point, you're not supposed to be smart about it. You're just supposed to be impressed. Just be in awe and wonder forever how that happened. But now, we all want to break the rules. And don't know why they are there in the first place. Until they're all broken. And then we realize how much of a shit show it becomes. And then it's like, okay, bring back the rules, please. Well, too late. The rules cannot be brought back like that. Not as fast. And it won't be as clean. And it won't be the same rules as they used to be. I'm noticing that a lot in school. A lot of the rules that when I was little as a student existed no longer do, or they're much more flexible now. It's something. It really is. But oh well. It is what it is. That is life. And that is being a teacher in the US. And a citizen of the US. So many problems, they can be fixed in time. Or so we think. Who knows? Maybe once you become a politician, you realize the hard truth of the job. You just say, if I'm the president, I'll do this and fix that and be amazing and be the politician that never existed, that I always wanted and all the people love. Just the same way I thought I was going to be the best teacher, the teacher I always wanted to be, giving so much freedom and being so lenient with rules. And then, when you are that politician and you get that power and you give the people what they want, you'll realize how much it sucks to give them everything they want. How much they don't love you. They disrespect you. They take it all for granted. Lazy bums. And then you'll see other politicians next to you who are much stricter and much more hated get things done. And even when they're hated, all the other coworkers around them will be like, wow, okay, he may not be liked by the people, but he's getting things done. And we all like him. And these people may not like him now, but that's because they're dumb. They will like him eventually, once they see their life improve. That's what I feel with teachers when I see the strict ones. where students do the work, I've noticed that they may not be liked for the beginning of the year or the middle of the year, but by the end, they are very much loved because they passed the test, because they got good grades, because they, as the students, needed a lot of structure and a lot of rules because they didn't have any before. And finally, someone came along to make them do the work. And now they have respect for that teacher. Not the love, perhaps, maybe yes at the end. The love. Or much, much later. I remember there's this one teacher in school that it's considered the most hated by my students. And I tell them, now you're going to love that teacher in 20 years from now. When you grow up, you realize it, how much this person is doing for you. And they say, no, of course not, blah, 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 blah. They don't know it, but they will. Same for another one. Yeah, I tried to be the cool teacher, but all I got was disrespect and fights in the class and too much destruction of stuff. So it's like, nah, you guys cannot handle this freedom. You're not ready. You are not ready. Perhaps later when you're adults, but not now. Not. And so I'm sure that happens in politics too, when you're dealing with the public. That's just everyone. You'll deal with some smart cookies and the opposite of that. You'll wonder, how are they alive? How do they make it so far in life? And they can vote against you or something like that. Yeah, just some shower thoughts. The world isn't perfect. It's never been. And it will never be. Kind of made me think when I was a kid and the war of Afghanistan was going on. I did not care about it. It never interfered with my life. Even though that was a war that lasted 20 years. So that means that since I was like 7 years old, that war happened. And apparently, it should have been affecting me for the next 20 years. But it didn't. I never looked at the news. I never followed any captains or military news, any politics. Like if podcasts were a thing back then, for 20 years, I would have heard about the war or something. Or somebody, I'm thinking like probably my father and my uncles and all the adults and all the teachers that were my teachers were probably following that war, thinking the world must be crazy. It's the end of America. We're in this war. Our people is dying. Our economy is going down. Even with the housing crash, I lived through all that in bliss, not knowing it existed or was even happening. And now that I'm an adult with access to the internet, I can see that and more. More wars in more places farther away from the US. It doesn't matter where it is, I'll hear about it. And now it's affecting my life somehow because I dwelled too much into it and I put too much importance into it. Like I can feel sad about it, and if a drink at a restaurant costs me $1 more, I will put blame on that war. I'll say it's because of this that I saw in the news that my drink costs $1 more. And if the car is costing more, it's because of this that is happening in half away from me in the world. You see, now I'm blaming everything on the news, which could be true, honestly. The way that they portray them sounds so logical. If there's a place that is getting bombed and that place used to make something, well, then that something is going to cost you more for some reason. And then all the other domino effect. It does make sense, honestly. Lots of sense. But if I wasn't listening to the news, what would I blame instead? If I didn't know the truth, or it's the lies, who would I blame when my soda cost $1 more? Maybe nobody. I'll just be like, hey, it is what it is. It's just the economy. Things cost more over time. It's natural. I just gotta keep getting a better job and paid more. Which is all it gets summed up to. No matter what, every year, my goal is to always get paid more. Get a better job or a higher pay. Or both. But I will not get rich by saving. I will not get rich by staying in the same job. And the quality of my life will go downhill if I don't get anything that pays more. That's just how it is. Like war or no war, politics or no politics, things will always increase in price. It's just natural. Even I thought about how we always want to get paid more. Well, so does the person selling you eggs wants to get paid more. And so he will increase the prices of eggs little by little. It's just natural human behavior. We want to earn more. And if you sell something, you'll eventually want to sell it for more. Despite any politics or wars. Just the same way I want to get paid more for the same thing I've been doing for years. So does the seller. He wants to get paid more for the same thing he's been selling for years. And so I think that it's just natural that things will always cost more throughout time, as time passes. So the solution is always getting paid more. That's it. You don't have to overthinking. Don't overthink it. Just get more pay. As time goes, that's the solution. Okay, well, those are the free ideas for you today. Thank you, and see you later.